My local is an ever-rotating gallery of fine art, where the canvas is viewed just as beautiful as the images bestowed on its maplewood flesh, coveted for collections by some, but most will be destroyed in a pursuit of a goal only a few will understand, for personal glory. A one-on-one battle of will and determination, building muscle memory and in some cases waking it from its dormant slumber, hoping it will return to its former glory.
I started skateboarding when I was about 15. I think it was due to like Back to the Future, that kind of boom. And then I've just kind of been involved with skateboarding ever since in some shape or form.
I think I started skating when I was like 12 or 13 maybe. Yeah, I did work experience in freestyle in Newport, and yeah, I just like, wow man, that's pretty sick. Like, you don't really do anything. Yeah, now I found out there's a lot more to it than that.
My name's Graham Tate. I'm the manager of Focus Skate Shop here in Edinburgh. I originally started just helping out with shifts, and then when the manager left a few years later, he offered me the job. 17 years later, I'm kind of still here.
For me personally, I grew up in a little town called Lechlade in Gloucestershire and started skating in about 1994. That's where I started, and then at the age of 18 went to Coventry, which kind of made me who I was as a skateboarder.
I started skateboarding around 2000 when there's like a boom in the Tony Hawk games probably, and a lot of kids picked up skateboarding back then. So
my name's David Mackey. I've owned and ran Lost Art for 22 years.
Started skateboarding when I was 13. A couple of my friends did it, kept on picking up their boards, having a go, and then I got my own one. Now I'm here.
It was just a weird point in my life. I'd moved down here, you know, I knew I was having a kid. I was kind of like, oh, maybe this is the point where I should go and not do anything to do with skateboarding. Or if I'm gonna do something to do with skateboarding, I need something that's like, I don't want to be away all the time. No, like a bit more of a normal life.
Putting that civil engineering degree to good use today.
As you can see, we've got all the VHS tapes. Slice in Time for me. There it is. Original copy. We've also got all the magazine. The kids can just come in and sit on the couch and read all day if they want. I'll take that one home. Always looks fresh and it's always exciting.
Is that for me? Oh, thanks. Having fun with Daddy is the best thing in the world. Is it better than crisps? Yeah? Is it better than ice cream? Is it better than watching Scooby-Doo? Wow.
I said, write his age, and she wrote your age. I was like, yes.
74 today.
47.
Cheers. Cheers, cheers, face.
Working in Focus early doors allowed me to kind of nurture my photography into skateboarding. The whole like Focus, the whole shop community, and just being in amongst it has really helped.
I basically just begged to borrow 20 grand from the bank, and they said they would if I had a guarantor. So then I convinced my mum and dad that it would work too. It was like, yeah, it's fine, let's just put the house against it, don't worry. As soon as we opened these doors, like, you know, it was supported and it was refreshing because I knew it was needed, and it was almost instantly reassured that it was needed.
I feel like we got pretty immediate support. I feel like it's always built through the years, and it takes time, and you got to put the work in and show people that you're in it for the right reasons and that you love skateboarding and that's why you're doing it. And I think that that's not something that skateboarders immediately assume you're doing. They seek that out of you.
Well, going into the skate shop, especially when I was like really young, like it's intimidating. Like you walk in, like, whoa.
We want a shop that can kind of house like a whole bunch of people, but not intimidating. I know skate shops can be a little bit intimidating for your kind of first-time punter or mums and dads and grannies, but I think we've always kind of prided ourselves on like nice, polite, positive customer service, and you won't kind of get any of that kind of like vibey stuff here.
You know, I get a kid in and give him a free magazine, it's like the best thing ever which has happened to him, and like just things like that. Like it's good to hype people.
I've never been to Margate.
End of the world.
It's the end of the world.
Centre of the world.
Centre
of the universe, mate. No, you go for it. It makes it look like my shop's really busy. It's really sick. For some reason beyond my comprehension, Bobby Skateboards wanted to do a guest board
bro board thing for me. So yeah, I was here till like 10 o'clock last night decorating, and come in this morning, tidied the mess up, and I'm just, well, it's like 3 o'clock. It's like kind of sorted now.
Powley opened up when I was about 25. It was really good that there's actually another skate shop in the scene, like, you know, supporting it. There's quite a small skate scene here, so it was real nice. Yeah, I do think that Skate Pharmacy has really contributed to the scene. His energy is just really good. He's a really positive guy. I think he always tries to put events across. Everyone always turns up, has a good time. It's always good vibes. Like, you can always go there and he's always there, just chilling or just chat some nonsense all the time.
When people first come in, I just want to, they're like, you get a lot of people come in, they're like, oh, I don't skate, but I wanted to come in here. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I don't skate either. I try and make the shop like friendly, you know what I mean? Like, if everyone that comes in, I talk to them and I don't judge them, and like, obviously once I know them, I rip the absolute piss out of them. Yeah, not everything works, but you can't give up, do you? Like, you know, like, made so many mistakes with the shop and so many problems, and like done so many things wrong. And I could have easily closed like 100 times over, but it's like the chief, you know what I mean? You're not really moving forward, so you just give up all the time. When I first met Lee, he was just this little kid that used to come down the park. We just used to make him do sing songs and like rap and dance. I can't even remember how it started. There's a guy making a documentary about me because I'm fucking awesome.
What about this one? This one says, Joe, a giant spider.
My local is a couch to sit on and put the world to right. It's the hangout spot before the pub after skate night. It's the cinema for premieres, over pizza slices and free beers. It's the big slam gasps and friendly jeers. It's that relaxed feeling because what brought us here is a shared passion here at our local.
What year is it? 2019 just. New year, freezing cold. Stevenage Skate Park that was built about sort of 3.5, 4 years ago. A lot of us campaigned for this for a long time, and then they built it 2 months after I left to go and live in the Falklands. There was only one place you could skate in the whole of the Falklands because all the roads are made out of big slabs of concrete and they've just got rubble everywhere. Only place you could skate, couldn't really go there, it was the kids' school. Took 2 boards and used them once, I think, on a little piece of road about 4 foot long, and that was it. Well, it's great being back here seeing it. Just wish it was a bit warmer because it's too cold to skate at the moment. Typical skateboarder's car full of junk. This is Bowes Lionhouse, probably one of the oldest concrete skate parks in Britain. And this is really where it all sort of started for me. I used to come down here all the time as a kid, and when the skate scene started, and the park got built, I think it was sort of mid to late 70s, and then the Bones Brigade come down and everything, and that's when it really all sort of started for me with skateboarding. Sort of got into it, was always terrible at it, never any good, but still love it even to this day, and just wish I hadn't stopped when I did, because you know there's a lot of history here. All the big skate brands and that all know it. All the skaters used to hang around here, and it was the ideal location just across the road from the town centre where I opened the shop. It was reasonably cheap sort of overheads and that in there as well, and it was just sort of perfect for getting things going. And like I say, it was really the enthusiasm came back when my lads started skating and showed me how it should be done. And I thought, well, you know, there's nothing here for the kids. They need something. It was a lifestyle choice rather than a work choice because I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of money in it. But, you know, it was what I wanted to do at the time, and I would not change a thing about it. We took 10 years working with the council, gathering all the evidence. We went and did like a campaign where we got signatures and everything. We got over, I think it was 4,000 signatures, including people like Danny Way and that from America and all. They all signed our petition. And it still took a lot more work than that to convince the council that we needed it. We had to prove why it needed to be here, that it was actually going to get used. As you can see, even in this weather, it's being used. Okay, it's a couple of scooters, but hey ho. I'll try and roll around, see how the shoulder is in this cold. Bloody freezing. Wait for the scooter to get out of the bowl. This is the first time. I never liked skating in here. It was scary enough coming in here on my bike, so I didn't use this much, but here it is. Other people loved it. They're clover. There used to be a big peanut bowl up there. A tree grew out of the middle of that, so they had to get rid of it. But people used to say, oh, an old tramp died in there and drowned in there and that, but that wasn't the case. A guy got stuck in there once and that was about it. Unusually, there's not so many cocks drawn around the park as there normally is. I don't know what's happened there. They seem to have gone out of fashion in the last couple of years, but I don't know. This is typical stuff you'd expect here. I'm glad to see someone's keeping up the standards. This is what we know as the bath for obvious reasons, you know. It used to be one of my favourite bits of the park. I mean, although I never rode it the way it should have been ridden, I always used to go this way because I'm a coward. But some of the guys now, what they can do on here is unbelievable. Absolutely crazy. First place to skate when I came back was Exie. Just getting back into it, and then I fell in the bowl and broke my shoulder. Smashed it to pieces, so I wasn't allowed to skate till after the wedding. Yeah, the missus said I'm not allowed to fall off and injure myself because she don't want anyone turning up in a cast or anything, so I said okay. My lad turned up with his leg in a cast. I think it's vital to have a skate park in every town. I mean, there's a lot of other countries, like Australia for example, pretty much every school has a skate park there. And there's a lot of people that don't want to play rugby or football or anything like that, they want to get out and do their own thing. And it's the ideal place for that. And I think the majority of the shops around the country, the skate-owned shops and that, they do campaign for skate parks in their town. They've all done it. I mean, you just need to look at places like Harlow. They've all done it.
People don't know what they want. They can come in sometimes and be like, right, and it takes you to point in the right direction or give them an option to them then say something to help you suggest what they do want. You're not going to get that without a shop. You're going to go on social media and get dragged down a road telling you need this, and oh right, I need this now.
9 times out of 10, the person that you're dealing with in a proper skate shop like this actually skates.
I don't know, being a proper skate rat, I think, makes it a lot easier to have a skate shop because you're just part of what you're doing.
I think a lot of people appreciate your honesty as well. I've never had anyone come in and be like, that's bad advice, or like, I really wish you'd push for an extra sale, or like, you should just try to sell me a helmet.
Like, I fit shoes on people's feet. Like, for some people that seems a bit strange. They haven't had it done since they've been at Clark's buying school shoes, but the amount of people who come in asking for a UK 11 and they walk out with 9s once I've fitted them is amazing. And people appreciate it. I'm also pretty honest. If someone says, what do you think? And I'm like, doesn't suit you, get something else. People were like, oh, well, you should be trying to sell it me, but I think people just appreciate you being honest. It's probably a fault of mine, if people come in to talk about hardware, I start at the cheapest. The kids don't need to spend a fortune to get them rolling. I just want them to have what they need to go out and have fun, for a good value, because then they come back.
I care about this. I want you to have like a sick skateboard, or like, I want you to enjoy skateboarding. I want you to get out of skateboarding what I've got out of it for like 30 years.
We're a business, but I don't want to rip people off, and I want them to come back and feel like they were given better service than you can get online. You can't get any service online, which brings us to maybe another question of like, why are skate shops important in your scene? To get that sense of community, you've got to build up that community as well. You can't just open a shop and think, hey, cool, we've opened the shop, everything comes to us. It's like, no, you've got to give prizes for comps, you've got to put on comps, you've got to make stuff with people, you've got to help your locals, you've got to help support riders, you've got to support your employees, you've got to just be there.
So we supply all the protective equipment and skateboards during our sessions to help keep costs down when you're first learning to skateboard. And then once you've got an ability, you can then just make a decision whether or not you're going to invest in buying your own safety equipment or skateboard. So we supply the skateboards for all of our students. We try to use premium quality skateboards to make sure that the skater has the right experience when they're learning with us. When we do our skate park sessions, we set up a lot of different tasks for the students each week to naturally progress from what they've learned from the start. So this week we're going to be working with the children on carving on the flat bank, front side and back side. Our intermediates are more for people who can already skateboard, can already drop in, do ollies, don't really need us to guide them that much. And we are there to show them and guide them in a sense of progressing their skills into things like kick flips and tray flips and putting lines together, pushing them to kind of do the tricks they can already on different obstacles, and just encouraging them to explore and have some fun on a skateboard.
Literally owning the shop is like, it takes over your life, it's everything.
Like whenever like I'm not in the shop, I'm always in the shop because like on my phone, which has like, it's linked into like all like the Instagram accounts, like email, like Depop customers are the worst.
I'm straight on my banking before, like almost as soon as I've opened my eyes, I get text from the bank, which shows me my bank balance, and I'm thinking, right, I need to pay this and this. So I do a lot of my banking before I've even got out of bed. And then there's social media, reply to my WhatsApps, my Instagram messages, my Facebook messages, eBay messages, blah, blah, blah.
As with most skate shops in the UK, you know, it's not necessarily just skateboarders that keep your shops going. You know, I've done a million amounts of work experience. You know, I'm pretty much can be like an agony uncle to kids who are coming through who don't want to speak to anyone else, which is rad. You know, I'm just thankful to feel, you know, kids feel there's somewhere they can go to talk to people because it's super, you know, life's super tough.
These things have kind of adapted and changed and become their own things over time, but it was always a sense of just supporting the kids who supported the shop. You know, kids could come in, if they had a broken board, you'd give them, you know, a spur board, or you'd let them take a board on tick. And we've always just been open to any sort of community endeavours or projects, whether it's, you know, a DIY spot or whether it's, you know, some prizes for a raffle to raise awareness or money for a cause. We've always been open and down to support in any way. And I think over time that kind of reputation has spread.
You can see what good a skate shop is doing for its city and its locality, and I think that most skate shops just get stoked on what other shops are doing and seeing like what new graphic ideas they're doing or what events they've done or like what little quirky things they do, and I think we all kind of rely on each other to be strong and to like build.
It's one thing having a shop, being bricks and mortar, and just selling stuff. We have 100% skateboard stuff in here. We don't have anything to do with any other wheeled sport, if you want to put it that way.
It's not about preaching, it's about educating, like telling the kids. I mean, I tell the kids what I've done. I mean, after the kids are coming in now, I'm like, oh, well, I built that park in Siren when you weren't born. Do you know what I mean? It's a long time I've been here now doing this, and I don't, you know, as you said, I don't have to do it. I could easily just go, oh, it's too much stress, it's too much hard work, I jack it all in. but I don't want them to miss out.
So from like day one, we've always been like, oh, we're a skate shop, come and buy stuff from us, but we'll also shoot a photograph that you can be in a magazine. And it's like always things like, you help us, we'll help you. So that sense of community, early doors, is something we've always kind of like, it's always been our kind of focus.
I don't want to have to go to like to Newport, or have to go to Swansea or Bristol just to buy a board, you know? Like, because I'm not buying one online, because I want to have a stand on it first and everything.
The internet is faceless. You could buy any deck, anywhere, anytime, from whatever company. But like, what do you see from it? Nothing. You just got a deck.
People travel 25 minutes to come to the shop. You can't walk through that door and I don't talk to you and I'm rude. Like, why am I stood here? Why would I want to be like that dude? You know, I'm hyped you've made the effort. I'm going to be like, yeah, cheers, thanks.
I think it's important to work in something that doesn't bore me and something that I have a genuine passion for and interest.
Every so often, some customer will come through and just be like, I just want to say thanks for being here. Like, it's super rad. I don't know what I'd do without you being here anymore. And that's, for me, worth a lot more than a lot of stuff. Knowing that what I've done has been, you know, just to, like, appreciated or, like, you know, just people need this shop now, which is, you know, a rad position to be in. And like, I'm nothing without customers and support, so that's rad in itself.
It's a difficult dream, but it's definitely the dream.
So we're super lucky in Cirencester to have 2 skate park facilities. The first park I was a little bit involved with as I opened with someone called Ian Jennings, is the metal old GBH park over there. That served us very well for 7 years, but being one of the most used facilities in Cirencester and having the shop, I just thought that, you know, for the area it was super important, as the shop brought everyone together, is that we had a substantial skate park to bring everyone together too. This place here behind me is pretty much 10 years of blood, sweat and tears, I'm not going to lie. There's no phase 2, don't get excited. But luckily it's floodlit till 10 o'clock every night. And then this was designed solely for skateboarders, BMXers and rollerbladers. All very mellow, all quite small generally, so you can have like do multiple tricks on a, you know, obstacle rather than smash out your banger. But yeah, this park brings people from 3 to 4 hours away easy all the time, because as I said, people come up and it feels like a skate park again. And yeah, so here we are, Cirencester skate park. I'd say the finest skate park in the world, but I'm biased.
It's nice to see that Gaz is doing stuff for the community, and then if I can help him out in any way, then I'm happy. It's like a little, I've known him for years, and it's like a little tight-knit group, like a little family. It does so much for the scene that you can't even really put it into words. Like if Decimal wasn't there, then this place wouldn't be here. Half the skate scene wouldn't be here. So it does wonders for it, really.
I remember people getting skateboards before I remember getting the shop, and people just suddenly started getting into skateboarding, and everyone was doing it. So it's just like we had something to do all of a sudden. It's grown it and it's created it. I don't think it would exist without it. So definitely, huge impact, yeah.
When I first heard about it, I thought it was super cool, because I've been playing the Tony Hawk games for all of my childhood, and I just found it so cool that that actually existed near me. Without Decimal, there'd be literally no skateboarding in Cirencester, because Gaz helped build the original park and also this park, of course. So.
It's given us something to do over the last 10 years of being in this area. There's not much else to do in small countryside villages. So it's created a really cool scene. We've made loads of friends. Because it's given us skateboarding, and there's so many lessons that we've learned through skateboarding, and that's the gift from Decimal that they've given to Cirencester. And everything we've learned in skating kind of carries on elsewhere. And I always look at other things through skateboarding and, you know, how we do it here. So it definitely carries over.
Skateboarding is the best escape from life there is. You're not thinking about anything else except skateboarding when you skate, so.
Buying local, it's buying from your skate shop directly and having that connection to skateboarding in your local area. And just supporting them, keeping them open, because they wouldn't be open without it.
You might get better prices online and stuff, but supporting a shop like a a shop owned by one man is like so vital, like, so important to the community, and like Decimal is so important to so many people.
Shop local. Simple as that. Support the people that are supporting you and support your community. Whether it's the closest shop to you or it's a shop that might be in the next town, if it's a skater-run shop or business or whatever, and they're someone that cares about the community, then support them, like I say, in the same way that they're supporting everyone else.
My local, for those not versed, can be intimidating at first. It's where the locals lurk and smirk when the young kids ask for monster stickers. But they are happy to help upgrade their Argos board because we all started somewhere. And they'll see the same kid at the skate park and be just as hyped when they land their first ollie as when their mate Deck landed his first tray flip, because they know the feeling. We all started somewhere.
I think anything to do with skateboarding makes you united, because it's quite a specific thing that we all do. And the fact that anybody, whether it's a shop, a customer, a skater, or a brand, chosen to do something revolving around skateboarding, it unites you instantly, whether you like it or you don't.
So when we first opened as well, we did a t-shirt swap with loads of other shops around the UK. So we sent them all, picked out 20 of our favourite shops and sent them 2 of our own t-shirts with little note in there just saying, it's always a struggle and stuff, but we were just look, just have these t-shirts, do what you want with them, but we'd love to have, some of yours back in our shop. So we had a whole rack of just other skate shop t-shirts, which was really sick, because then people would come in, because then they'd look at our own stuff, but then looking at being wow, look at this Parlour t-shirt. Wow, I've never heard of this shop. And then you get to explain that there's other skate shops around the UK which are in the same boat as us, and it's nice to try and support everybody else.
Everyone gets on with everyone. I know all the guys at Note, I know the guys at Lost Art, I know the guys at Border South Sea, I know the guys at Nate, everyone knows everyone, everyone's friends.
Are you first and foremost a skateboarder or a businessman? And we're all first and foremost skateboarders.
You don't have to buy from me, but without people like skate shop owners directing the kids and telling them why, it's not like, give me your money so I can feed my baby.
If I could make some quick money in my shop, but a lot of money, but it meant one of my other mates' shops was going to go out of business, I wouldn't do it.
Black Sheep in Manchester have done this collab with Vans or whatever, or something, and we're oh, sick, I'll buy a pair of those. There's enough going around that we can all kind of dip in and dip out and support each other in different ways.
And then things like shop riots or whatever, where you get to go and meet everybody else in the UK and just get pissed courtesy of Vans. It's not a bad day out.
Being an independent, you all kind of help each other. Will's a skater and I've known him for years, and that kind of sat well with me as well. We're working together. He's a skater, he's doing tattooing, but he gets it. And it's been a really good partnership since then. We've grown together, and we've built this shop together and get to where we are. He's got a bigger shop, we've got a bigger shop. Yeah, it's a good partnership.
I think any independent businesses can help each other, and I think it's not just skateboarding. Most independent businesses start from a love of whatever business they start. So I think obviously a coffee shop can have respect for another coffee shop, but also a coffee shop can have respect for a skate shop and work with it together with that, or any other businesses. I think that all independent businesses should help each other just survive, and because it's difficult for for independent business, and I think that, yeah, everyone should just work together always.
Yeah, times are tough, so yeah, it's just nice to support everybody else as well as yourself.
Right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is Vans Shop Riot 2019 at the magnificent Greystone Access Sports facility here in Manchester. It's time to make some noise. 3, 2, 1, let's go!
Our local is where the young rippers get their first break, with a little store discount and their face on the team page. For some, a small step to a bigger stage, but for most, it's just another way to show their support in every day to their local, to your local, to our local.
We're at the Pioneer Skate Park, the one and only, for Lariat Awards. Everyone comes down, has a good time, enters a few comps. It's just fun time. It brings the whole scene together. People can socialise and just meet new people and just have a great time skating.
So I think events like this are really important for skateboarding because they bring people together. It gives people an opportunity to showcase their ability, especially for the young ones, you know. And as well, today, everything's so instant. It's like Instagram clips, YouTube videos, like all this stuff that's just getting watched and passed by. Whereas something like this, that is a long-standing skate park that's been here for so long and brings people together, those are memories you're going to remember forever, you know.
It's almost like a skate shop directs its scene, you know.
Whenever there's a new video on, I always try and do a premiere, even if we only do it here on a Saturday or something.
Generally, if you're into skateboarding, you're into music, art, whether graffiti, photography, filmmaking, or whatever, and then having that outlet as a skate shop to help make stickers or put someone's design on a shop t-shirt or work with someone to help money for a video or put on a premiere or something. I think the skate shop, it's a must. It's something that you need.
It's all part of your scene. It's all about building your scene, and the better your scene is, the more you'll get out of skateboarding, and the more you'll love skateboarding, the more you give, the more you'll get back.
Like the majority of our customer base are just core skateboarders that'll come in, they're like, yeah, I need a new board or I need like new truck or whatever, but generally aren't going to be buying like a new t-shirt or something. They're not going to be spending like 35 quid on a t-shirt, because why spend that when they could buy an 8-pack of beers and go skating? You know, like.
I'm just lucky that, you know, all of our skaters who do come in here are local. I mean, as I said, I don't even know how many. We've probably got about 150 regular skateboarders from all towns and distances away who come through the store.
I feel like because the skate parks are in the suburbs, that it brings skateboarding out of the city a bit for people, and a lot of people when they start skating, they start in a skate park.
I don't think skateboarding would be what it is today without skate shop owners doing what they've done in their scenes.
It's on the older guys, because as the guy that owns the shop, you can't be lecturing people. Like the scene, the people that use your shop need to rep your shop.
I think, yeah, like older guys, they educate kids and kind of show them the way and help them progress into being like good people and true skateboarding. And I think like kids a lot of the time need a role model, and a lot of older skaters are really good for like educating them and helping them.
That's counter, you already landed too. Come on.
Like I said before, rather than just like trying to appeal to everyone, if like the core skaters around here like supported this shop, I'm sorted, you know. And if, you know, imagine like one guy is wearing a skate farm hood and he goes out that night, 200 people are gonna see that, and that's basically free advertising. It's like, rep your local shop, support your local shop, and then every generation that come through will follow suit, and maybe you'll keep your shop open.
So we're at Civic Centre in Plymouth, where most of the local heads hang out, skate. Vans supplied us with some prizes, some wavy shoes, and the obstacle behind us. Have a little session, get some pizzas on, and just have a good time.
He will land it, trust me. I know he will.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good thing for the scene, man. Even though we're just an online store, people still shop with us because we do stuff like this with the local community. Like, it is skater owned and skater ran.
The sickest thing about it is we've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years now. Pretty sick to get everyone to come here and skate together and have like a thing for it. You wouldn't expect something like that to happen, and that's like come off the back of Flatspot, which is a lot really, you know.
Definitely skate shops should be doing stuff like this. You've got to be giving back to your local community.
Our local is not a big chain store with multiple levels and fancy floors, big sale signs, and no fear boards. No, it is independent and so much more. It's the glue that bonds our community together. To fight for skate parks when the council said never. Behind opening jams, history cemented forever. For future generations who choose our endeavor. This is our local.
It's
Just got on my key. Dirty Lee. She's empty. One empty shop. All the effort and all like the when you first building something like this, all the like hundreds of hours building stuff, and at the end of it, two and a half years later, another one bites the dust. All you can do is laugh, even though the shop's empty now. It looks like someone's been in here taking stuff.
We're actually at Stevenage Indoor Market, which is the place where it all started for me.
After a few years, people take the shop for granted. That's why so many shops fail, I think.
Like, use it or lose it. You don't realise what you've got until it's gone, and there's so many shops that have shut down.
Like, you've always been looking after the pennies skating. That definitely plays into it a lot.
At the time, I obviously was new to the industry, the business. Didn't want to take a risk on a big shop because they were quite expensive, and this seemed a logical place to start. They were doing good deals at the time.
A lot of skaters, especially younger ones, don't actually notice the difference between a chain shop and like a truly independent core shop. I think that kind of comes at time.
I think these are vital to community. These are the small businesses. And without small business, you rarely get a big business because they all got to start somewhere.
People think it's easy. People think retail's easy. People think having a skate shop's easy. People just think that I just stand around playing tech decks all day.
Probably the only time in my whole working life when I felt sane. And it felt like, you know, it was a part of me, and I think it was also, hopefully, a part of the community. That was the idea. I didn't do it for the money because there's very few skate shops where you actually make lots of money. You can make a living, definitely. I did for sort of 7 or 8 of the 9.5 years that the shop was there. But, you know, I put as much back in as I could and tried to get the community involved, you know, with competitions and building a skate park and all things like that. You know, it was a community thing, and I love that sort of thing. Hand on heart, it's what I like doing. I like to get people involved, like to help people, and that was probably the main reason for doing it. Eventually we moved to a shop which was in the space behind us over there. The shop went really well. It took a lot of work to get it up and running. Me and the guys, we spent all night working on it, had about an hour and a half sleep, come back and opened the shop up. It was a great opening day, the place was packed. And then sort of about a year or so before we closed the shop, the weather was terrible for the whole year, so we had really slow business. The following year, the guy that used to own the phone shop here bought all the properties. Next thing we know, the rent's going up and up and up, and also the council stopped the small business rent rate allowances. We just can't afford it anymore, and had to close the shop, and so did everyone else.
People cry and complain when skate shops close, but then they don't listen to the skate shop when they're crying for help.
A number of years ago, we went through bankruptcy, you know, to emerge on the other side in a new space. So I'm very, you know, firsthand, I know the difficulties of running a store.
When we first opened, it was very slow, and like I didn't take wages for nearly 2 years, and I tried to like push money back into the shop all the time and expand our product range.
I mean, yeah, I had like 2-3 years of like pretty much wanting to chuck myself off the nearest cliff. Like, it was largely aggravated by the shop.
I had Lyme's disease, I've had it for 7 years now, but I got to like stage 3, so literally had it for well over a year, and then in my face, I got bilateral facial palsy, so I didn't blink for 10 days, and I've had 3 bouts of IV antibiotics and 12 months of combined antibiotics. Like, my own health really, it just left me with chronic fatigue. Like, I'm quite cognitive now, and can be a bit scatty and hyperactive and sometimes inconsistent. So that was a struggle. Just not being well and just trying to cope with having a business while not being well.
People see like, oh, you know, you own a skate shop, that must be really fun, like you can work when you want, and you know, it's like you can't work when you want. You have your set open hours, but you never switch off. You're always thinking, and you always go home and you do emails, and you're doing ordering and, you know, social media, like you're always working.
It's just draining. It's like trying to keep 500 balls up in the air. It's next to impossible. You can order something one week and it all sells. You order it the next week and none of it sells. It's like you can order a massive delivery and then it rains for 2 weeks straight.
Having a skate shop, running a skate shop, or being involved in skateboarding, it's not a 9 to 5. It's not like, oh cool, I'm closed up, I'm off home. It's non-stop. Like skateboarding, it's one of those, it's an industry, it's happening, it's 24/7.
I think things have a habit of changing very quickly, nowadays especially, you know, and you have to be able as a skate store to adapt and change, and unfortunately that's the reality of things.
It's one of them, it's like this little shop keeps my stock down, it's manageable, my rent's reasonable, I can be content, which I think's, you know, if you're content in this day and age, I think you're doing well.
You'd be so stressed about things that are going on in the shop that you won't want to skate.
I started to feel that I was very distant from the scene and the community, and I definitely started to feel some resentment towards skateboarding, that I was feeling the way that I was.
You know, I get like a text like 5:30 when I'm leaving here, and people be like, "You skating tonight? Like, where's bang?" Whatever. I'm just like, it's the last thing I want to do.
It's hard work, so you do have your ups and you do have your downs. You feel a bit like, oh, should I be doing this? Am I rubbish at this?
Am I doing the right thing? Am I selling the right product? Am I doing a good job? It's constantly trying to stay relevant and adapt, but also try not to let it consume your whole day, week, month, like year.
And the internet's obviously killing it, and price cutting is like, you know, it's just like lazy way to sell stuff. Oh, we just knock 25% off everything, but then you're not making any money.
I'd be honest with you, I'm pretty much ready to turn my online store off. Not just out of, not because it doesn't do anything, or it's just like, I don't find it just a massive part of what I wanted to do.
How do you compete against the internet? All we can do is just try and provide the best knowledge and the best products, the best advice, with the best service, and just hope that that kind of shines through.
Like, it's so easy to go online, click a button, have it to your door, probably for a few quid cheaper, but, you know, who's that helping? It's not, you know, it's not doing anything for your local town, your local areas, or your local skaters. As a core skate shop, you know, as I said, we support so many different aspects, in hooking up skaters, looking after skaters, being just that person people can come and talk to. Like, you haven't got that, just part of skateboarding dies.
You can't live on like less than minimum wage. I did that for like a few years. Not that I did it for the money, but I need money to pay the bills of the mortgage at home. And this one was another mortgage, unfortunately, which this one had to go, not my home.
We can't stay open without money in the till, you know, so we have to, we totally depend on local supporting, and the more support we get, the more we can grow and expand and try and push back, push like money back into events or into like brands or local things, like, and help support, like sponsor jams and sponsor things. So
the thing I loved about Lost Art wasn't the financial aspect of it anyway. It was about assisting the community and seeing kids stoked on what you're doing, and just kind of being a part of the scene and nurturing and helping skateboarding, you know, continue to grow and exist.
Other than that, you know, I still look at what I've got, and, you know, you're making me look at what I've achieved, and it's rad, it is rad. It's just so, it's all a bit surreal for me, and then you think about how far we've come, what I have done, and then, you know, and also what I've been through, I had to put up with to get there, and yeah, no, you know, just got to stay positive and look at all these things, you know. I'm super lucky to have a shop, I'm super lucky that it's worked, you know. I mean, I feel I had a friend up north who had a streetwear store for many, many years, and it didn't work and had to close after 12 years, and it's just like, that's devastating. I put myself in those shoes thinking, imagine having to shut because I couldn't sell enough stuff. It's just horrible, because I've put my everything into this place. Like, this is me, this is part of who I am. You know, if that didn't work, it would be quite hard to swallow.
Like, you'll never see anyone, you'll never meet anyone probably that put more into their business, cared more about their business, their customers, everything, than people that ran skate shops. Like, and most of them, when it went badly, they lost everything.
Kids don't think like they used to. They don't have to think like that anymore. They'll come in here, look at some shoes, and then make sure they fit, and then go and buy them online. But as a skate store owner, it's no joke. It doesn't sleep. You know, if you're going to open a skate store and you think it's going to be kind of like, you know, it's your dream and stuff and it's your passion, there's a lot more parts to it. It does not sleep.
It's all a hardship. Like, it's hard, it's just straight up hard running. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, fair play to any of the shops, you know, like what some of the skate shops hit in 25, 30 years. Anyone that's done that, me. Like, I respected them guys anyway, but now I've done it myself. Like, hats off to anyone that's kept a shop afloat, a skate shop, and kept it like, you know, core and respected and like legit. Hats off.
But if you think of it, right, this is exactly why everyone, all the skate owners say, support your local skate store. Tumbleweeds.
Our local helps build a community where progress can be made, encourages battles where self-doubt and demons are slayed, strengthens bonds on the toughest of days. It provides more than just our wooden toy. It help writes the future of our culture and plays a big part in its past, not for profit or glory, but for the love. This is our local.
As a 13, 14-year-old, like where did you go when you were younger? If you're into skateboarding, you go to the skateboard shop. It seems to be one of those things that's just over the years, that's just what's happened and what's accepted and is what's actually rad about shops. It's like, this is, yeah, like you said, it's a safe space. It's a place to come and just read a magazine, what's new, what video's out.
It's where you're spending your money is who's giving what back, you know, it's up to you where you spend your money. It doesn't bother me, but, you know, for me personally, I like to think that if I give my money to someone, they're doing something with it.
Someone getting a skateboarding for the first time, it's like, how do I buy a skateboard? Oh, Google, like, find out where your local skate shop is in your city, chat to those guys, and then support your scene. It doesn't work like that. It's cheapskateboardsformyson.com, and then you go and buy the cheapest one, and then you kind of learn from that. It's just knowing that you were there with a group of people, whether it be staff, team riders, whatever, that are willing to put in the time and effort to make your shopping experience and skateboarding experience as best as it can be.
My guys, right here, look. Get your shit, get your coach. Right here, stop.
So we're at the Sugar Club. It's a popular venue in Dublin today, and there's a premiere for a local skateboard video from a well-known skateboarder in Dublin who also films and writes for our shop. So there's a massive crowd and it's going to be a good one. For this event we were able to sell tickets through our shop and create awareness for the event, and then tell people the event was on and gather people together to have a good time tonight and to see the video. Yeah, it's important for us to back events like this because, well, it shows you have to stay active at the events to show support for the local skateboarders and what they do, and make the more you support them, the more they'll be enthusiastic about doing more events in the future and creating more hype for these kind of things. Yeah, every scene should be doing events that, like, doing videos and filming and documenting what they do and trying to help each other and push each other and, like, help each other's brands. And yeah, it's very important.
This guy. It's so weird, man. It's kind of weird. I know, isn't it? It's fucking shocking. I lost like 8 years, man. Videos are going in. Let's go. Videos are starting. Videos. Hey, everyone inside. Videos are starting. Go. Everybody go in and see some skateboarding. Yes, sir. Get in there. Come on. You are gonna like it. Come on. It's gonna be great. Everyone's going. Come on, lads.
Skate scene is sick. I think moving to Barcelona was the worst decision I ever made. Ireland, Dublin's where it's at. I came all the way from Barcelona after this event. It's an amazing turnout. Look at everyone. Sick.
What does my local skate shop mean to me? It means community.
It means that you give faith into the shop owner and the workers that they're doing the right thing.
What's the best part about being a skateboarder? Well, it's not a camps, it's not HMRC.
Just making people aware of the shop is the most important thing. Some people can spend, some people can't, you know, not everyone's able to do that, and I think it's more important to just like support it and talking positively about the shop and educating younger guys up and coming about what the shop does for the community and what support it can give, and I think awareness is kind of key with shops.
I love the fact that it's so accessible now to people. I've got dudes who come in who are like in their 40s, like, I want a decimal T, and they're just like, I want one because I walk down the street on a Friday night. I've got the kids going, yeah, decimal. It's like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I think it's rad. All these tote bags, you go to Tesco's, it's just full of mums with decimal tote bags. Rad.
To support your skate shop, you don't have to always buy anything. You don't have to buy everything, and getting engaged with their social media and telling your friends, you know, you might not have money this week, but if you told your mate, oh, you know, who's looking for a new skateboard, like, oh, you should go to Lariat or wherever, like, your local shop is, you know, that kid might have the money to then go there.
Can I do this forever? Stood behind this camera? I mean, I could. I don't know. It's come, you know, I've worked in a skate shop now since I was 18 and I'm 38, so I've done 20 years behind the camera on and off.
If I was still as stressed as I was 2 years ago, I think I would have closed by now, but it's more a case of learning what works, what don't work. It takes a while, you know, you can't throw your hand in too early. Basically, like, first 3-4 years is like virtually impossible. Like, a lot of shops don't make it past that point, and then I think once you've sort of found your feet, worked out your customers, worked out your brands, you know, it gets a bit easier. And also, I don't like failing at stuff.
Well, obviously, it's like, you know, if you're buying from someone like us, like, all that money pretty much goes, you know, directly back into the scene. Like, we're the ones that are, you know, putting on the premieres, you know, trying to get people out skating, trying to, like, you know, film people, trying to make, like, you know, our own videos. You know, if people, like, you know, skint at the moment, be like, oh, mate, don't worry about paying for that board right now. Like, you know, just pay for it when you can and things like that. And just, like, all of our customers are, you know, they're our mates. It's all for skateboarders, you know, it's not for, you know, some shareholder or something. At the skate shop, then what are you doing? Like, ordering all your stuff online from, like, Skate Warehouse or something, just having, like, a box turn up, board not gripped or anything, and just don't even get to stand on it. Who are you talking to about skating?
If people are coming in and shopping with you, you've got to be doing something right. And then that means, like, cool, let's do more, let's give more back. Yeah, that's what it means to me, really. Just, you know you're doing a good thing and you're building that scene.
It was Who Dares wins and now we're year 14. Ah!
Not a day goes by that someone doesn't come in and be like, oh shit, did you see the new Tom Knox part? Or like, oh, did you do this and see this and da-da-da? Or did you watch Chima Ferguson's part in the new Vans video? I wouldn't have it any other way. Do you know what I mean? Just having that kind of space where people can come in, don't have to buy anything, just come in, pick up a free magazine, pick up a copy of North, come and watch the new edit, like, come and get, I don't know, a cup of tea. You know what I mean? It's one of those places, like, it's like a home from home. Without it, I'd be worse off.
There we go, man. All done.
Our local, it is a shop, it is a store, it is sometimes a youth club or a pharmacy for the natives with a therapist chair, or just a place to hide when the world out there doesn't seem to understand. It is a museum, a classroom, a meeting point, a cinema, a creative hub, and so much more. But some days, it's just a friendly face and a fist bump. This is our local.
Days till I get to see my baby Till then, just on, waiting for my paycheck. Well, Mary Jane, you are so sweet. Help me with my problem, but I get so hard that I can't speak. I think I gotta break this up. Think I gotta break this up. Think I gotta break this up. Why'd you always want to hang with me? Well, is there no other friends that you ought to see? And it don't mean that I don't like you so. Just means there's other things that I ought to do. Think I gotta break this up. 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 3 days till I get some time to myself. Till then, just on, waiting with a hazy head. Well, Mary Jane, you are so sweet. Help me with my problems, but I get so hard that I can't sleep. Think I gotta break this up. Think I gotta break this up. Think I've gotta break this up. Think I've gotta break this up. Think I've gotta break this up.
There's probably a few porn films on this somewhere.